Hello, I am roaringbug, and welcome to my Sims 4 speed build. Today, as you saw in the first image, I am building a house called Toronto House. And this house is based off a picture of a real house in Toronto that I found on Pinterest. So right now, I am working on the front of the house. I realized that working on the front of the house and then working your way back is actually a pretty good method in order to make a house look good. So I particularly like this house because it has a really steep front, and it has a really vibrant red color, and it contrasts really well. Unfortunately, in the original picture, it had a third floor with a balcony on the pointed middle part where the entrance is. Unfortunately, I did not want to put a third floor on this house because it would be way too much space. And I thought it would be a lot to add just a balcony on this house, because normally when I do floor plans with 3 floors, it's usually a little too much space. I usually end up dedicating the middle floor to just being a skill building room, because in The Sims, if you do gameplay, it usually is a good idea to dedicate a space just for skill building items, because certain items are really big, like the microscope or the cupcake machine, which take up like 6 tiles each, which is really too many tiles just for an item. But I can't do much about it because it's how The Sims is. They just like really big items. So now I'm moving on, just doing the interior. And as you can see, this house has a really simple shape. It's really not that complicated. And it's the simplicity of the house that's actually pretty charming. And this house ends up being a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. But I count baths by how many toilets, so I call it a 3-bathroom house. So right now I'm just furnishing the bedrooms, and I'm putting down these decorations for the toddler room and the child/teen room. I think it's more for like maybe if you had 2 kids, because I put down the science table and the drawing table, which are kid skill building items. But I couldn't fit them in the bedroom, so I eventually, you'll see, I put them in the hallway. The kid bedroom, I used 2 different shades of blue. I used a lighter blue, and I put 2 accent walls in a darker shade of blue, because I didn't want it to be all the same color. So all the rooms that have like tiled flooring, those are just the bathrooms. And I fit this fireplace into the wall. I think it's a style thing where I put the fireplace into the wall instead of just leaving an empty room for the fireplace. Like it's recessed into the fireplace space, which saves you room in the house than to just put it on the wall. But I think it's just a style. It really depends on what you like. And as you can see here, I put the kid skill building items, and I'm just rounding off putting in the decorations for these bedrooms. I like the primary bedroom. I think it looks very cozy. That little bump out in white ends up being in the primary bedroom. And as you can see, I used the Dream Home Decorator kit to put 2 little couch seats there to be like a little sitting area, which I thought looked really sweet. And now I'm just putting down curtains everywhere. Really, curtains aren't really necessary in gameplay, but it makes the house look more finished if there's curtains in the house. And right now I'm just putting down things on the wall, all these pictures and decals, just so that it doesn't look so plain. And now I'm furnishing the kitchen. So this kitchen is a little on the small side, but when you do gameplay, your Sims rarely, if ever, sit on the kitchen table altogether. And I don't bother with high chairs because they're kind of difficult to work with. Like if you put your toddler in a high chair, you're gonna have a hard time doing the animation to get them out of the high chair. So it's much simpler just to select the fridge and just open it and put like a platter of food on a counter or on a table or even on the floor, and just have your toddler walk and just retrieve it themselves. Though the weird thing about toddlers is that they can sit on the floor and eat, but most of the time they will walk to a sofa and eat. So in my own personal gameplay, I usually put the little teddy bear toddler couch in their room because it looks really cute. And you know, gameplays wise, you know, they're always aiming for a couch to eat at. So this living room is really basic, and I kept the colors just very, very neutral. It's just white walls. I didn't put that much color in here at all, and just a little brown furniture. And this room on the side, that is gonna be the skill building room. But first, I'm going to finish this bathroom. But I skipped ahead. I didn't show any footage of me furnishing any of the bathrooms in this build because bathrooms are kind of boring, and I didn't have enough space to do really interesting bathrooms. Like if you do larger builds and you have a lot of space, it's easier to make really interesting looking bathrooms. Frankly, my favorite kind of bathrooms are brutalist bathrooms or minimalist bathrooms with like their own separate shower area. Though I notice a lot of simmers, when they do bathrooms with separate like custom bathrooms with showers, they usually they put it in a platform and they raise it up one. But in real life, that wouldn't make any sense. You would actually have to reset it one step down because you would want the water to flow out of the shower. And I know it's not such a big deal because it's The Sims, but that's what I think of every time I see somebody do a shower in The Sims. And I'm like, you want that step to be down, not up. So now I'm just moving the house ever so slightly, and I am doing the exterior. So I used all debug items to decorate this house. I don't know if you noticed, but right there, that top window, when I grabbed the house to lift the foundation, it glitched, and I actually lost that window. And I don't know how many people have experienced that, where you lose a window, but it still shows the space being empty. It's really weird, and I always kind of freak out about how to fix it. And this is a really cool debug fence, and I don't think I've ever really used this debug fence before. And I sized it down, and I think it looks really good. And when I look at this house in the front, I'm really impressed on how realistic it looks. And most of the time, like, when you look at houses, they don't look quite realistic. But I thought this had a more realistic quality than probably my other builds. So, like I said, this house is very red, and it just has all these little white accents, which I think really pop, and I think it looks really nice. And I didn't go too crazy with the landscaping, I just kept it really simple. So if you like more landscaping and you happen to download this house, you can always add more. And if you want, you could probably add a swimming pool if you want to the back of the house as well. So I just put this hedge down and that one little bush that I sized up. That little pokey bush there. But I thought it looked nice. It looks very... It's got like that asymmetrical thing about it, which I think looks pretty good. And I'm just adding a couple of bushes here. I don't know if it'll stop a sim from going into the backyard, because the front fence is a debug item, and all of these bushes are debug items as well. So if you don't want other sims going into the backyard, you might have to close it off with an actual fence. But you can like connect it to like the side of the building. It doesn't have to be like all the way around. So in the backyard, I just put a barbecue and a picnic table. And I put this outdoor lighting. So I use raised objects in order to put the light as like a little fixture on top of that pole. And I just went crazy with the color red and bricks. And I put down this monkey bar, because that's a skill building item for child sims. It gets up their movement skill. And now I'm just shading, and I'm just putting this light pine needle shading all around, just so that it gives it a little bit more depth. And I believe that's the end of my build. So my screenshots are from the top down and all around. So if you like this build, you can get off the gallery at roaringbug. And please like, subscribe, or leave me a comment. Thank you for watching.